Welcome to the new edition of Warcry. This week people will get their hands on the Heart of Gur, along with the new rules. The core system of the game largely is unchanged, but they have made a few improvements like adding in reactions, but nothing to stop us from playing with everything we have already, which is great. Games Workshop surprised me by announcing that they would have a compendium updating all 800 or so fighters, and then they went ahead and shocked everyone by releasing the PDFs for all those fighters for free on Warhammer Community. The good news is we have new rules for all of our old fighters. Bad news is our Warcry cards are now out of date. I love these cards. They have all the info I need right to hand. I love putting damage tokens on the card to keep the board clear, and they just make the whole experience a little bit more fun, which really is what this channel is all about. Luckily, Warcry players have been blessed with some really talented individuals in the community. Rachel started out with her initial card generator, then Hendrik updated it, adding an ability section. Stefan and Aptly Ward contributed to that, adding some improvements. And then a different Stephen took over, and it looks like he made some good improvements, but I'm afraid I could never get his version working for myself. Long and short, based on their hard work, I've added my own version with some very minor adjustments. So first up, there are some new Gur team backgrounds. All the old ones are still there, and you can pick them from split view or full background. But there's the two new Gur ones as well. So you can pick your factions item from the full list. There are sub-factions as well, which is the second list if you need to do that for the other ones. You can upload your image, and then you have all of the options to adjust the X and Y and the scale. So here we'll just make it a little bit bigger, and we'll move it across to the right. Okay, and yeah, you don't have to use arrows. You can actually just type in the numbers to make things a little bit faster. And then once you're happy with it, we can move on to the weapons. So the weapons will default to having only one appearing, but you can actually have two. Just a little tick you can complete to add in the second weapon. And then again, we're just going to read these details off of the PDF that GW provided. So we're going to choose the icon for the first weapon, which is going to be a spear. This is a range 8 weapon. So the functionality, so this is all stuff that was all there before I got to it, will let you put in 1 to 8 if you have the first one as a 1 for the minimum range, or 2 or 3. But if you put it down to 0, it'll remove it. So this is just a range 8 weapon. And then we put in a number of dice, 2, and then the strength is 6. The damage is 2 and 5. Right, and then the second weapon. So if we unticked the second weapon, then it would disappear. But in this case, this first Fang also has a axe. So it's going to be a range 1, so it's a melee weapon. He is going to have 3 attacks. Strength is going to be 5. And then 2 and 4 damage. Okay, just double checking the numbers. Again, we have all of this in the GW PDF, so referencing is pretty handy. I have it off on a second screen off to the right. Okay, so rune marks. If you hover over rune marks, it can be handy. It'll actually show the name on it. If you click it, it'll select it. If you click it again, it'll deselect it. You can have up to 4 rune marks appearing, and they will appear in alphabetical order. This guy does have Brute. I don't think anyone actually has 4. I think 3 is the maximum that we've seen on any of these guys. Alright, and then we have the different characteristics, so the movement, the toughness, the wounds, and the points. I have added in the names here, so the names are new. So we have a fighter name, which appears at the bottom, and then we have a subtitle. So if you leave it blank, it just won't appear. So if you don't like it, you can just blank it out. There's a bunch of different things you can do it. There are some super long names, so having the title and the subtitle will let you actually include the full name for it. In this case, First Fang is short enough, so you just have the name under the subtitle. So you can see there's talking about the mirror blades for one of the Cypher Lords. What you could do is you could put in the name for their rune mark. You could put in the character name. So if you've decided to name your character Steve, then we can have that up there. Or we could reverse it around, so we could put First Fang in the subtitle, and then we could make Steve, the harpoon guy, the main focus for the card. Right. And then once you've got everything, we're gonna scroll down, and at the very bottom there is a save as picture, save as image, and that'll just download it, and we're done. So now we've got that nice new card saved on our desktop. Okay, now the images. For the images, you want a nice transparent background. So here I'm just taking a screenshot of one of the pictures from GW, and we're just going to put it up onto remove.bg. So this will just hit download. Nice and quick. So now we're going to have a transparent version. So it'll be in my downloads. When I go back and hit upload. Oops, spoilers. So choose file, pick the picture, and then I can go through it again. So obviously there's a couple of different ways you can get these pictures. GW website has tons of them, so you can just screenshot them and do it like we did there. Alternatively, the PDF that GW provided does actually have a number of the fighter pictures in there, so you can right click on it, copy, and then open up a program and go through with that. And obviously the best way is to take the pictures yourself. Alright, now, second tab has the abilities. Here you input the name, typically the name of the warband, and the subtitle. So typically that's going to be abilities, but you could have some other details like reactions or putting all your champion ones together. There are a couple of different options. Again, these are the major rune marks, so being Untamed Beasts one. There are up to 6 abilities you can have. Now, and as you can see, the rune mark for your faction appears, and you can untick them if they're not being used. So the 6 that we have here is from the original set. Obviously they've added in a new one, a 7th reaction. So there's a certain amount of juggling you may need to do. Personally, what I'm going to be doing myself is I'm going to be making a new one that just has the reactions. So there's 3 reactions that anyone could take, and then for my Untamed Beasts, in this case, I'm going to add in an extra one, so that'll be 4 in total. The text for all of these abilities is going to be in the PDF, so you can just copy and paste it in. And when you're going through it, you just need to make sure you put the carriage returns in to format them properly, because it doesn't automatically wrap it. But then when you're done, you just hit save card as image at the bottom again, and then you're done. It'll probably take you a while to work through all the images, but once you do, you'll have a bunch that you need to get printed. I personally put them into a document of some sort, maybe Microsoft Word, or if you're on a Mac, Pages. The warband cards are about A5, so you're going to put 2 to a A4 page. And then for the fighter cards, you should be able to get 8 onto an A4 page. If you use the magic card size of 8.8 centimeters by 6.3 centimeters as reference. I think once you scale this, if you scale the length to 8.8, it comes out to 6.1, which is slightly smaller, but that's fine. The typical approach to get them printed is to put them on normal paper and then cut them down and put them in a sleeve with another card behind. This is the cheapest approach and lets you reuse your old cards. Now, this might not be an option for the ability cards, although as the sleeves for them are quite hard to get. If you do want to print on card, again, you can use magic cards as a reference. They're printed on 350 GSM card. As a guide, 200 to 300 is stiff but bendable paper, like magazine cover. 350 would be more like a business card, so still a little bendy, but quite firm. So anything between 280 and 350 should be good, depending on your preference. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and comment.